Hi folks, my name is Nicky Beer and I want to read you a poem titled "In Which I Imagine I'm Not the Only One" by Elizabeth Bradfield. This is a poem in which Bradfield imagines that she's not the only queer person in her family. She invents an imaginary queer aunt and imagines a scenario where the aunt, as a teenager, slips away from her family at the beach and meets up with someone. I realized that I was bisexual when I was 15 in the mid-1990s, pretty much when I learned that the term existed and what it meant. And while I had a supportive mother and other queer friends, queer culture, queer history, and queer elders weren't something that I really had access to until years later. And while I did come to discover that I do have queer family members, I didn't know it when I first came out. So Bradfield's poem is one I wish I could have read way back then, just so I could have had help conceptualizing how much bigger queerness was than what I knew. And I love how this poem relates to the idea of chosen family. Bradfield here is choosing a family member for herself who only exists in her imagination, but she still makes her so real. And I love how the piece illustrates that if something is missing in your life, poetry is a place where you can make it happen. So this is by Elizabeth Bradfield from her first book of poems, Interpretive Work. In which I imagine I'm not the only one. She's been feigning boredom to sneak off from her parents and her younger sister unfollowed, her toe wet from the mouths of anemones and horse clams she's been pushing into just to see them jet their improbable hold of receded tide. Once she reaches the old house down the beach, the cabin, really, of a ship beached in a storm, hull deep in the channel, but the pilot house tossed ashore, she ducks into the metallic cool, and her breath, echoing, is joined. And what happens there? Fumbling under the rusted roof where barnacles purse their lips, flood tide between their legs, tanned clavicles gleaming in the dim light, straps slipping from them, eyeliners pulled onto fingertips, blurred across breasts. By the time I become her niece and am old enough to walk that far, the cabin roof has gone to salt, the sides tilting to sand, only a suggestion of themselves, but still recognizable. And inside on that August day, back when the house was still whole, they weren't pretending or practicing. They were swollen as books left to do, pages too thick to close. You can see it, can't you? In the family photos where I am the only one coupled to my own sex. Look closely. She's glancing at me, at us, over the heads of her married children, past the beard of her husband, my favorite uncle. She's remembering. I want her remembering.